on the night of 1 November 1981. Celebrated wizard Albus Dumbledore and his deputy Minerva McGonagall meet up on Privet Drive in the Surrey town Little Whinging and discuss of the deaths of James and Lily Potter, whose one-year-old son Harry Potter is to be brought to them by their half-giant associate Rubeus Hagrid. Sometime later, Hagrid arrives with the sleeping infant Harry on a flying motorcycle. As the three walk to the front lawn of Privet Drive House, McGonagall initially objects to Dumbledore, leaving Harry with the Muggle family that lives there known as the Dursleys, as she sees them as the worst sort of Muggles, after spying on them day by day in her animagus form as Silver Tabby Cat. Dumbledore tells her that the Dursleys are the only living relatives Harry has left since his mother's sister Petunia is the only Dursley that had Lily's blood in her, which ensured the protection of Harry and his family. After Dumbledore places Harry on the doorstep with a letter, he wishes him luck before he, McGonagall, and Hagrid depart. 10 years later, Harry lives as a household servant to the Dursleys, who treat him with hostility and tries to be a seemingly ordinary boy, while trying to bear the brunt of his spoiled cousin Dudley's constant bullying. After inadvertently causing an accident on a family outing and receiving several unsolicited letters by Owl, the family moves into a 2-story hut on an island. When midnight strikes on Harry's 11th birthday, a mysterious stranger breaks into the hut to the horror of the Dursleys. The stranger, who turns out to be Hagrid, meets Harry and informs him that he is a wizard. He gives Harry a birthday cake and his acceptance letter to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. When Harry's uncle Vernon tries to prevent him from going, Harry and Hagrid chastise him and Petunia for lying to him all along. After Vernon insults Dumbledore, Hagrid threatens him and Petunia for their actions by cursing Dudley with a pigtail, much to Harry's joy. By morning, Hagrid takes Harry to purchase school supplies from the hidden Wizarding Street Diagon Alley. After Harry purchases his wand, Hagrid surprises him with an owl as a birthday present. They stay in the leaky cauldron wherein Hagrid reveals the reason behind Harry's fame in the wizarding world. When Harry was still a baby, one of the century's greatest dark wizards, Lord Voldemort, murdered his parents with the infamous killing curse. But his attack on Harry rebounded, leaving only a lightning bolt scar on Harry's forehead and rendering Voldemort powerless. A few weeks later, Harry boards the train to Hogwarts via the concealed platform 934 in King's Cross Station. During the journey on the train, Harry meets Ron Weasley, a boy from a large but poor, pure-blood wizarding family, and Hermione Granger, a witch born to Muggle parents, who would both become Harry's lifelong best friends. Upon arriving at the school, the first-year students are sorted into 4 houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. As Slytherin is noted for being the house of darker wizards and witches like Voldemort, Harry begs the magical sorting hat not to put him in Slytherin. So it instead puts him in Gryffindor, which is noted for being the house of braver witches and wizards like his parents, along with Ron and Hermione. Harry notices one Professor Severus Snape, the sinister potions master and head of Slytherin House, giving him peculiar looks. Harry begins learning wizardry and discovers more about his past and his parents. At the end of their first week at Hogwarts, Harry and Ron discover that Gringotts, the wizarding bank, was broken into and a vault that Harry and Hagrid visited had been the subject of the robbery. Harry discovers his talent for riding broomsticks and inadvertently makes Gryffindor's Quidditch team, a sport in the wizarding world involving flying broomsticks. As a seeker while defending another Gryffindor student, Neville Longbottom, from Draco Malfoy, a Slytherin first year, later learning that his father was also on the team. One night, Harry, Ron, and Hermione encounter a giant 3-headed dog named Fluffy belonging to Hagrid at the Forbidden Corridor on the 3rd floor of the school. The team's keeper, Oliver Wood, trains Harry and orients him of Quidditch during one weekend. After a charms class with Professor Flitwick, a Halloween feast is held wherein the defense against the dark arts teacher Quirinus Quirrell fearfully informs the attendees that an escaped mountain troll has entered the castle. As the houses are led back to their common rooms, Harry and Ron fight the troll and incapacitate it to save Hermione. At Harry's first Quidditch match, Harry's broom becomes possessed, nearly knocking him off. Hermione sees Snape staring at Harry and mouthing words, making her believe that Snape has caused the broom to misbehave with a dark curse, hoping to save Harry. Hermione sets Snape's robes on fire, distracting him and others and allowing Harry to survive and make Gryffindor win the match. Later, Hagrid slips on the trio a name when confronted about his knowledge of Fluffy Nicholas Flamel. At Christmas, Harry receives an invisibility cloak, once belonging to his father, which renders its wearer invisible. Harry uses it to explore the restricted section in the library to research information on Nicholas Flamel, but finds a screaming book. Harry discovers a magical mirror which shows him a vision of his deceased parents. Dumbledore encounters Harry looking at the mirror and tells that it is the mirror of Erised, which shows a desire of one's heart and how it could not help much when people wasted their lives after being driven mad by it. He then moves the mirror and advises Harry against searching for it again. When term resumes, the trio assume that someone is trying to get past the dog. Eventually, Harry learns that Nicholas Flamel is the only known maker of the Philosopher's Stone, which produces the elixir of life which will make the drinker immortal. Hermione discovers that the dog is guarding the stone itself. Harry concludes that Snape is trying to obtain the stone. That night, the trio visit Hagrid's hut to get more information. There they discover a dragon egg which hatches a Norwegian ridgeback dragon that Hagrid names as Norbert. The three convince Hagrid to let Norbert go live with other dragons of his kind in Romania, but are caught by Draco. On their way back to the common room, they are confronted by McGonagall, who takes them and Draco to the Transfiguration classroom. After McGonagall reprimands them for their actions, the four are given detention with Hagrid in the Forbidden Forest. At the forest, as everyone splits up to find a dead unicorn, Harry and Draco encounter a hooded figure drinking a unicorn's blood for its healing properties. While Draco flees in fear with Fang in tow, the hooded figure then attempts to attack Harry, only to be scared off by an arriving centaur named Fyarns, a close friend of Hagrid's. Harry concludes that the hooded figure was a weakened Voldemort, and that Snape is trying to get the stone to restore Voldemort to full strength. After hearing from Hagrid that the dog will fall asleep if played music, and that he revealed this to a man in a local pub, Harry, Ron, and Hermione conclude that Snape was the man in the pub and attempt to warn Dumbledore. Upon learning that he is away on business, the trio conclude that Snape will attempt to steal the stone that night and resolve to find the stone before Snape does. The trio, after bypassing Fluffy, face a series of obstacles, surviving a deadly plant, flying past hundreds of flying keys, and winning a violent, life-size chess match. The trio use their skills to overcome the obstacles. Hermione uses her knowledge of spells to get past the plant devil's snare. Harry uses his skills as a seeker to get past the keys and catch the one that unlocks the door, and Ron uses his skill at chess to win the chess match. However, Ron is nearly killed in the chess match, and Hermione stays with him as Harry goes on ahead alone. In the final room, Harry finds out that it was not Snape who wanted the stone, but Quirrell, who reveals that he let the troll in and tried to kill Harry in the Quidditch match. Snape had been protecting Harry all along while trying to stop Quirrell. The professor forces Harry to look in the mirror of Erised. Due to an enchantment placed by Dumbledore, Harry finds the stone in his pocket after looking in the mirror. After trying to get Harry to answer what he has seen in the mirror, Quirrell removes his turban and reveals a weakened Voldemort to be living on the back of his head. Harry tries to escape, but Quirrell starts a fire by clicking his fingers to prevent his escape. Voldemort tries to convince Harry to give him the stone by pledging to bring his parents back from the dead. But Harry refuses. Quirrell then tries to kill him, but Harry's touch prevents him from hurting him and causes him to turn into dust and die. When Harry gets up, Voldemort's spirit forms and passes through Harry, knocking him unconscious before fleeing. Harry wakes up at the school's hospital wing and is visited by Dumbledore, who explains that the stone has been destroyed and that Hermione and Ron are safe. Quirrell burned at Harry's touch because, when Harry's mother died to save him, her death gave Harry a love-based protection against Voldemort. Harry soon exits the hospital wing and is reunited with Ron and Hermione, with Ron once again brought back to consciousness. During the end-of-year feast, Gryffindor has 312 house points, Hufflepuff 352, Ravenclaw 426, and Slytherin 472. The Gryffindors are upset. But then Dumbledore interrupts and announces that recent events must be taken into account and has a few last-minute points to award. First, 50 points to Hermione for cool use of intellect. While others were in peril, 50 points to Ron for the best-played game of chess that Hogwarts had seen for many years, 60 points to Harry for pure nerve and outstanding courage, and 10 points to Neville for the bravery of standing up to his friends. These last-minute points win Gryffindor the House Cup, and all the Gryffindors celebrate their victory. Before Harry and the rest of the students leave to go home for the summer, he finally acknowledges that he is glad to find a real home in Hogwarts, which in his heart will truly be his home.